Alright, and we are back. Honestly, I should probably make a tweet about this. I guess I will. Hang on. Should be this one. Okay, so most likely we are on...
なるほどなるほど。ここが新聞部ですか。
Most likely we're on the Aramura route now. I mean, come on. We even have a trophy that's pretty obvious about it too. Let's take a look. Nope, not that one. Okay, whatever. There was another trophy, I swear. I'll be right back though. Gonna make a quick tweet and then we're gonna go live. Well, we're already live. Done. Let me go to this. I guess I'll grab some water too. I'll be right back. Okay, and I am back. Need to stretch a little bit, sorry. Anyway, I'm kind of thinking. I wonder what I'm going to be doing after Scott streams. Usually whenever he streams, I go to sleep. I know, but that's how the schedule's been going lately. I stream really early in the morning, and then I stream a little bit again, and then I go to sleep when he streams, and then repeat XN.
そういえばひなちゃんってここ来るの初めてだっけ？
Luckily, my assignment isn't due anytime soon, so I can work on that a little bit later.
あの日、ほら文化祭の日に来てるけど、あの時はじっくり見たりいじったりできる感じじゃなかったじゃん？あ、これかっこいい。海外ドラマみたい。
You know, I wonder if like the recent visual novels that have been released have the same kind of style. And what I mean by that is, you know how when these characters talk,
一応事件のことについてはそれで全部考察を
like they actually move their mouths and they blink and stuff like that. I noticed that in Root Double, I think Steins Gate as well. This game, does Uminoko have still portraits, or do they actually move their mouths when they speak?
ねえねえセリ、これは何？
I wouldn't really consider Umineko very recent, though. How about Utawara Rumino 2 and 3? How about that?
それはね。
Also, back portraits are kind of
な
rare.
あ、宮代。さっきの話だけどさ。
ああ、さっきの悪い。何の話だっけ？
You know, now that I think about it, is White Album 2 like that too? It's been a while.
だから事件はこれで終わりかってこと。
ああ、そうか。それについては僕も考えてみたんだ。
何の話っす？
I kind of like this new thing they're doing with visual novels, though. It makes it more approachable from other angles. Like, I know with Steins Gate Zero, I got popcorn and drinks, and I would read it as if I were watching a movie.
だから今回の一連の事件についての話だよ。ほら、僕たちを襲った女が捕まっただろ。だから。
え？捕まったんですか？あの。
なんだよ。知らなかったのか？
なんだよもう、警察も捕まったなら捕まったって教えてくれればいいのに。
Well, the main character's quick to judge, but I guess I'm not surprised.
まったくだな。こっちは危うく丸焦げになるところだったんだから。
Maybe that's what's gonna develop in this route. I'm pretty curious myself still.
ですよね。利用する時だけ利用して、これだから市民の信用をなくしちゃうんですよ。
Also, a way heavier influence on the pyrotechnic compared to the main route, I think.
まあ警察への文句は置いといてだ。その宮代の考えってのは？
ああ、そうだった。
At least for now.
いいか、これまでの事件とこれからのことを総合して考えるとだ。
Oh, we're doing this again? Okay, fine. Let's see. The first thing I had to do was go over all the cases that happened so far. And the cases that happened so far formed what people were calling the return of the new generation madness. The first murder was Don't Look at Me, the death of Otani, the Nico Nia live streamer. What? Oh yeah, he was a live streamer, my bad. And the second, Leaky Noise, Momone Takeyanagi, the anime song singer. And third was The Revolving Dead, Aramura's acquaintance Kakita. Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out what areas of information do we not know right now? Because since we've gone down the entirety of the common route, the questions are: what happens to that girl in the lab? We don't know that confirmed yet. We haven't seen her dead body as an example. I would need to know a little bit more about the pyrotechnic, but they don't have to. That's something I'm interested in. I don't know much about Mio and her goals. I don't know much about Aramura. So those are like areas that they can expand. Okay. I wonder what the true end is gonna be like. How would they solve everything? I mean, solve everything? At this point, I'm looking more for character development, but that's tied to solving things, if you ask me. And they didn't play it off like the common route, go all the way back in time with a time machine or something like that. It's common route, end, start again. Like hard period.
「以上のことからわかるのは、一連の事件と連続放火事件が非常に近いところで起こっているということだ。」
でもそれじゃあ手口が違うのはなんでだ？これまでの事件とは明らかにやり口が違うだろう。
Yeah, exactly. It would be... I remember at this point in the common route, we said the arsons don't seem to follow the same murder structure.
それは
Obviously, right? They're not being burned alive.
そう、これまでの放火事件はあくまでも練習だったんだよ。練習したけどうまくいかなかった。だからこれまでは違う方法を選んでいた。なんだよ、納得できてないって顔だな。意見があるなら言えばいいだろう。
意見っていうかさ。
じゃああの施設はどうなるんです？
施設ってあの病院の地下にあった施設のことか？
そうです。あそこで行われてた研究、あれは事件と関係なかったって宮代先輩は思うんですか？
Why does the stream say short test stream? That's odd. I thought I changed it. In fact, it shouldn't even be that. I'm almost 100% sure I changed it. Let me go ahead and do it again. Did Scott test something while I was gone? No, I'm gonna guess. Ah, Scott definitely tested something while I was gone. Okay, here we go. I'll call this Chaos Child / Hangout stream. It might have been that I forgot to change it, and I never did change it. That'd be kind of strange. I thought I did in the morning.
それは
柿田さんのことはご存知ですよね。
Okay, well then the explanation of that is Scott did a short test stream and he changed the title. I didn't actually look to see the title was changed. I just assumed that from the morning, it was the same because normally Scott doesn't stream until 8.
あの回転デッドの被害者だよな。確か。
はい。あの人が私の兄の友人だったって話はしましたよね。
Okay, hang on. I'm losing track of what's happening right now. So let me go back. Alright, let's start from here. Here, a little higher. The arson incidents were just practice. We know that's not the case. Then what about that lab? That lab? You mean the one in the basement? That's right. Do you think the research they did there has nothing to do with the case? Well, it probably did. The experiments that were performed down there ended with the earthquake, so it would be probably strange for her to just suddenly start killing people now. When I told Armura that, she didn't look satisfied. You know about Kakita, right? Kakita? Sorry. The victim of the revolving dead. Yeah, I told you he was a friend of my brother's, right? Okay.
今だから正直に言いますけど、彼は私たちのような能力者について調べていたんです。そして、その後ろには何か巨大な組織が関わっているかもしれないって。
The way I see it, don't be surprised. Twitch has been having tons of issues and has always had issues. And they're rolling over new changes that aren't fully bug tested yet.
巨大な組織な。まるで陰謀論だな。
Like, for
で、
example,
その組織ってのは
if you're unaware of this, Twitch also has people unfollow you randomly. That's a little frustrating, but that's a thing. So if for some reason you've ever kind of wondered why FinestKO hasn't been streaming lately, that's usually not the case. We almost always stream. So it might be that you randomly unfollowed, or it might be that we just haven't streamed, but I stream pretty fucking often.
それを事件のあったあの日に教えてくれる予定でした。ですが。
じゃあ有村は犯人はあのハイダリコって女じゃないって言いたいのか。
そういうわけじゃないですよ。私には難しいことわかんないし、ただ仮にあの人が犯人だとしても裏にはまだ何かあるんじゃないかって、そんな風に思うだけです。
Okay, so they're all catching up.
伊藤はどう思う？
まあ確かに組織とか機関とかってのは魅力的な言葉ではあるが、あんまリアリティはねえよな。結局どっちにしても今の状況じゃ判断材料が少なすぎるっつうかさ。
Aramura route.
尾上は？
私はそうだな。タクはどう思う？
質問に質問で返すなよ。
そうだけどさ、私にはわかんないんだもん。
しょうがないな。じゃあ僕の意見を言うが、僕はこれ以上襲われるのはごめんだ。だからあの女が犯人だったらいいなって思う。
Okay, so within the context of this story, as you already know, Serika and Ito are deeply involved with things that are going on right now. At this point, I might as well just spoil it to you, because if you're watching at this point, you're watching way too deep into the story. Anyway, so when the main character says, "I'll tell you my own opinion, I don't want to get attacked again, so hope she's the killer," let's look at the previous line. What do you think, Taku? Don't answer a question with a question. Sure, but I really don't know. You can read that line as she's clarifying something she doesn't understand. I mean, literally, she's going like, I don't know about this case. But the subtext is, I don't know how you feel about this case. And the reason why I even had to bring that up in the first place is because Serika can read minds, okay? So this can actually change how the route is going to be structured now. Because if she reads that, I don't actually want to deal with this anymore, it could end right now. And then the story becomes completely different. In which case, I'd be very intrigued by that. But again, that depends completely if the main character actually believes that.
あとは警察の取り調べ次第だろうな。あの女が犯人にしても違うにしても、念のためこれからしばらくの間は気をつけた方がいい。
I mean, just for variation, I would like if this route diverged from what we already know from the common route, like majorly.
私もそう思います。お昼も話をしましたけど、特に能力者である私と宮代先輩は用心した方がいいでしょうね。
よし、とりあえずしばらくは慎重に行動するってことで。
Don't worry. That's most likely... What's her name again? Yes.
たく、またか。おい、和樹。尾上。
オッケー。おーい、花ちゃん。壁殴っちゃダメだってタクが。
Freaking out.
先輩、その人は。
Honestly, I don't even know what she does. She goes into this room and plays video games. She should be a part of our club. It's just I don't ever see her do anything other than play video games and eat snacks and not talk.
ああ、有村は面識なかったっけ？和樹、花、1年。うちの部員だよ。
さっきまでそこにいるって全然気づかなかった。チャオッス。
Man, I'm thinking to myself right now, why would they include a character who doesn't speak any lines? I mean, they just could do it for comic relief or for fun. I get that, but I normally wouldn't think that for like writing a character.
私、有村ひなえ。ひなちゃんとか、ひな先輩って呼んで。あなたは、
I mean,
花でいいよね。
I like her. There's nothing wrong with that. Wow, that's cute.
ごめん、声に出してもらえる？
Yeah, it was really short there, but she had a change of expression.
ああ、ダメだよ、ひなちゃん。花ちゃんは喋んないから。そうなの？なんで？宗教上の理由とか？
I mean, I'd ask the same thing, yeah.
理由は知らないけど、喋らないんだよね。ね
え。Maybe she can't actually speak. No, seriously, maybe she can. I've never seen her speak, ever. Except in delusions.
一言も？一言も。そうなんだ。ま、それはそれでいっか。楽だし。じゃあそういうお近づきの印にシェイクハンド。
Oh my god. So many of those quotes are completely out of context. I'm not picking routes. I'm just going by quote-unquote optimal order. So certain visual novels, if there's no indication of a route that should be seen at a certain time, then I might consider looking up a guide to see what is considered the best way of reading it, because I want to experience things in a certain way, right? And if certain writers don't take precautions, then having knowledge of one route might ruin the experience of another route. So for example, if in Hana's route, if it even exists, right? If in Hana's route we find out that Aramura is actually not just a psychic, she's a demon with fire powers, right? And I watched and read that route first, and then I went into Aramura's route, I would be less surprised when Aramura becomes a demon and shoots fire powers and lasers from her eyes, right? There'll be nothing. I wouldn't care about that. It's not a surprise anymore. And so, like, the scene in which they emphasize her turning into a demon and shooting fire from her hands and lasers from her eyes, right? It won't do anything for me because I've already seen it. But that could happen, right? And so an optimal route might exist in which reading this, and this in this order ends up being better for you overall as a reader. But as far as I'm aware, this game has no indication whatsoever on which routes to do first. Unless it's just pick the pretty girl who appears first and then do her answers correctly and then move forward from there. And then the next pretty girl after her is this character. I don't know. It might be. But I guess they didn't really care about that. They just said, go for it. They gave the reader freedom to make their own choices, even though the experience might be drastically different because of a different order.
これからもよろしくね、花。
Yeah, I'm gonna do them all. Might as well. I enjoy Chaos Child enough. It's one of the stories that I'm been surprised about. Not because of twists. I don't care about the twists. I really don't. It's if it's set up correctly and thematic value comes from that twist that it matters to me. If for some reason Aramura ends up becoming the true killer, then I don't care, because to me that wasn't set up correctly, at least given what we know right now. And I don't see how Aramura being the killer would add thematic value to the overall story. But you could, and you could write that, and you might be able to do it well. But as we know it right now, I'm actually quite impressed with how they did things, because they've been able to break away from certain conventions and allow you to think about a lot of different ideas coming together. And it's not just ideas purely out of interest, it's moral questions that they're asking the viewer as well.
よろしくかも。
What? I need to pinch myself right now. Is she actually speaking?
おい、今のって。
Now that's a twist I think was really well done. Yeah, I know, right? What the fuck? This entire time, man. We've been through this visual novel for at least, what, 50 hours? And now she finally speaks? Wow. It was... What? This is way more surprising than I thought it'd be, even though it shouldn't be. It's so silly. What the hell?
なんだ、可愛い声してるじゃん。もっと喋ればいいのに。
No, seriously, man. 50 hours of reading this visual novel, and then she finally speaks?
ね、もう一回喋って。せーの、はい。いいじゃん、いいじゃん。 ん、ちょっとだけでいいからさ。
She's not exactly a throwaway character too. She's there in the scenes, you know.
まさかあの和樹が。
本当に喋れたんだね。
何よりも恐ろしいのは有村のテンションだな。
終わった終わった。
Oh, Dead Monkey, thank you so much for subscribing again. Hope you're looking forward to the new emotes. I know they'll be slightly delayed, but I'm really looking forward to them.
なあ、帰りどっか寄ってこうぜ。
Like, legitimately, I am. I wonder when I'm gonna start writing. Obviously, I write for a living, but I'm talking about writing a story. I've been writing a lot of notes on the side. I've been reading books about improving your own writing and what goes into artistic value of stories, stuff like that. But there's that big jump that I haven't made in the longest time. When I was in college, and before college, I would write short stories, plays, and creative fiction in general, all the time. That's something that I would do as a hobby. And then I stopped completely when I started streaming, actually. And that's been something that I've been honestly missing for the longest time, as a way of self-expression. But now that I'm more aware about the effort that it takes to write a good story, I've been more careful about how I approach one. And reading visual novels like this, which I consider a medium that is actually more than just a game, it could be easily a good work of fiction and legitimately written. I like to see things like this and judge them for the quality of their work.
なーに、ため息なんかついて。
You know, I've noticed something. I tend to like characters who are more... Oh, what's the way of describing this? Who are more sensitive towards others and how they speak. I guess that's just a personal preference of mine. It's not like I can't speak to people who have very strong emphasis in their dialogue with me, but it gets exhausting.
別に何でもないよ。
I wonder why that became a thing. I'm trying to think right now. That's not always the case. Certainly there are characters that speak in a way that are very strong and very statement-oriented that I like. I mean, is that true? Give me a second. Is there a character that I like who has strong statements and speaks in a way that gives very little room for interpretation from the receiver? Off the top of my head, I don't have an answer for that. I'll think about that more. I'm curious now.
そんなこと言って、どうせまた何か事件が起こればいいって考えてるんでしょう。
Well, there's something that's happened over time, and that's that certain archetypes, I've relaxed my judgment on them, and I've come to accept them and like them more.
別に考えてないってそんなこと。
Like, for example, I really hated the ditzy character who was comic relief for the longest time. And then I gained empathy for that kind of archetype and that kind of person that would be that way, because I understand how that feels, right? To use comic relief to ease the tension and allow conversations and bonds to be made. But at the cost of yourself, that becomes kind of degrading at times. And if you've ever been that kind of jokester where you're more likely to make a joke on yourself than others, it gets exhausting at a certain point, and I understand that. But because of my understanding of that archetype is something that I've come to accept more. It's kind of like... I'm thinking of other archetypes that I've come to accept more as well. At one point, I didn't care for the tsundere. Now, seeing how the archetype has been expanded and written, I'm more open towards it. Kudere, same thing. I'm way more open towards it now. This is just from experience, actually. Just growing up has allowed me to see the positives of how you can write a certain type of character. Thinking about something else. Something popped into my head and then I forgot what it was.
いいタクル、あなた命を狙われたのよ。いくら犯人は捕まっているとはいえ、まだ安心はできないのよ。それにあの時うなずいてくれたわよね。別に特別な事件を追っていなくても楽しいことはあるって。そのことを忘れないで。
I know exactly what it is now. It's because I have to deal with people all the time who are completely unaware of how their speech patterns can give a different impression, and then suddenly are completely confused on why people take them offensively. That gets exhausting because if you ever had a boss that speaks down to you and then suddenly doesn't understand why you are so offended, then it's like, oh, holy shit, this is fun. Or like people who speak extremely strong to you and don't understand how hypocritical they are and are not aware of their own image that they're throwing out with zero interpretation that's allowed other than this, right? It gets really exhausting. That's probably why I've started to appreciate people who are more aware of conversation. And it's not that I will look down on you if you are not aware of how speech works or how conversation works. I don't like doing that. I don't want to belittle people because people matter to me. It's just that on the receiving end of that, it gets really tiresome. And it gets really exhausting. Really, really exhausting. If you've ever been in that situation where you have a very egocentric person who simply does not understand and will not listen to you, then that's not fun as a person who's interested in conversation, because that's supposed to go two ways, you know? I might as well talk to a wall. That's sometimes how I feel with certain people. And it sucks a lot. It sucks so much. That's essentially why I hated working for my dad. I never ever want to go back to that ever again. And if you know exactly how I feel, then you can understand what I'm saying, right? That having people who are aware of like how their words are interpreted and the nuance of conversation feels nice. That someone is willing to do things like de-emphasize their statements to allow you to make something, such as say something. It's like they care for your own views. And when I see that expressed through certain characters, I recognize that. And I think, wow, this person is being very kind in how she speaks. So, I mentioned Nono before. And Nono, as a character who's written, has a lot of differences in elongation. That's a strange way of putting it. I'll figure it out. So, as I said before, if you're really, really terse in your conversation, so if you speak succinctly and you don't add more, it can come off as extremely rude, and it leaves very little to interpretation. So, if you said, "How are you doing?" Fine. How was your day? Fine. Do you think that this movie was good? It was good, right? It leads very little to adding more to the conversation. It's really difficult to continue that conversation and make a bond with someone. And sometimes people just don't give a fuck, right? They don't want to create that bond with you. And that's fine. That's up to you, and that's your will, right? But it gets tiresome if you have to work with that person all the time, and there's very little openings for that. And sometimes it's circumstance that brings that about, right? Maybe the person's just tired, or maybe the person is like just really not interested in that conversation right now due to other external factors. But there's also things like previous experiences going into something that inform the conversation in such a way where it's difficult to continue a conversation. And that sounds extremely difficult for me to explain, so give me a second. It's as if, let's say you have a bad relationship with someone, okay? And that person speaks to you again. What's informing the conversation is your past experiences, right? Why do you have a bad relationship with that person? Well, maybe it could have been that in the past, this person has not treated me well and doesn't actually care for my perspectives and views. And so what's informing that current conversation is that this person does not care about my views. And so if your answer is very terse with the person who's speaking to you, then that's because of your past relationship, right? That makes sense? But if you are able to be aware of how the conversation is forming and stirring. And for some reason, that bad person that you had a relationship with, let me redo that again, because that's not what I'm saying. The person you had a bad relationship with, there's a distinction there, right? Is suddenly trying to be more open with you, and you're able to realize that, you're giving them a chance, right? And noticing that is kind of nice, and it's beneficial. So, I'm trying to think of a experience in which I had that was like that. A person with a bad relationship with me was being more open with me, and I recognized that, and so I gave them the chance. Okay, I can't name anyone, but I know exactly now. A person exactly like that. And so this person was someone who was very unaware of my circumstances and said things that were very hurtful without being aware of my circumstances. And so I had a certain perspective on that person, which is this person doesn't give a shit about me, or is aware or cares about people with different circumstances. They didn't even try to understand why I would do a certain thing. And so I closed myself off to that person. But when I met that person again, and I saw how they spoke and how much they changed, that was because I was able to understand that. And so our relationship changed to the point where someone that I considered was very rude and uncaring became a person who became more caring, who became more aware of how that person would speak to other people. And I recognized that, oh, that's why people like him. That is something that happened, right? So that's me telling you how a conversation works. And it's also telling you why I end up caring more about people who are aware of conversation. Because it's so nice that if you're able to understand things like, there's a term that I've forgotten, but this is something I do for certain people because I don't like conflict, right? And if you've ever seen me do this, this is what I'm doing. In certain conversations where there's a strong argument against me or towards someone else, I will give them an escape route. That term, escape route, isn't the correct answer. It's something else. In communication, that's something else, right? But I'm calling it escape route so you understand what I'm talking about. And that escape route, when I do that, it's saying you can de-emphasize your position, make it less strong, and it's okay, right? It's fine. I'm giving you that opening so you can take it and relax the tension against you. Do you know what I mean when I say that? So, for example, if I say all cats are burglars, which doesn't even make sense, but I'll say it anyway. All cats are burglars. We'll have someone else say it, because I'm going to be doing this action of giving an escape route. Someone says all cats are burglars. I'm like, what the fuck? What does that even mean? I guess you're saying all cats are thieves? Well, bullshit! Right? That's really rude towards cats. How would you do that? Why would you do that, right? And then I'm like, okay, the tension of this conversation is going really badly here, and I believe there's some more nuance to what you're saying. And so I'll give a way for you to de-emphasize that statement, which is all cats are burglars if they choose to steal, which makes more sense, I guess. And how I would open that up is I would say, well, are you sure all cats are burglars? What about lions or cheetahs or freaking your house cat or something? Or, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I want to know a little bit more about what you're saying. Are you saying blah, 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 right? And that's how I open up that conversation to be less strong in a certain statement. And that's what people can do to show that you care, as well as defang the tone and atmosphere of a conversation. It takes a lot of fucking practice, and it's really exhausting. But I do that for people. And when people do that for me, oh my god, it's so nice.
わかってるって。
本当にわかってるの？だったらもう。
Anyway, that's why I appreciate Nono, because she does that, whether you're aware of it or not.
うるさいな。さっきからわかってるって言ってるだろ。そう何度も何度も同じこと言わなくったって子供じゃないんだからさ。
そうね。ごめんなさい。
え？
そうよね。タクルだってちゃんと考えて行動しているんだものね。私が言い過ぎたわ。
Well, there we
ご
go.
めんなさい。
That's it, right? That's an example.
でもくれぐれも危険なことはしないでほしいの。 願い。
So she apologized to change the direction of the conversation, and she unveiled her intentions, which is I care about you. Please be careful, right?
わかったってば。
一緒に帰ろうかなって思って。見てたよ、さっきの。
Oh, sorry, I didn't answer what you said. B Cruise, I did do the bad end all the way on. I did the bad end before we hit the Aramura route, and thank you so much for warning about that, because that bad end was certainly not something that should have been placed there. I think almost everyone who said don't watch the bad end agreed.
クルスのことか。
ダメじゃん。のんちゃん病み上がりなんだからさ、優しくしてあげなきゃ。
そんなつもりじゃ。
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see it, because so much of the common route, as you probably noticed, was me making an argument about having faith in other people. And it's not just my own personal bias and my morals. I think it's something that the author is trying to say as well. Or authors, right? There's multiple authors. And I felt really... It's a mixture of emotions. I felt... Relaxed isn't the exact word, because I didn't feel relaxed. I felt a combination of being recognized, feeling betrayed, feeling understood, and feeling empathy, all at the end of the common route. And that's a strange mixture of emotions, but it was really beautiful. And I'm a little sad that my immersion was broken, but I did it on purpose. It's not your fault. I did it on purpose to break down why things were happening. But if I had experienced that part alone, I can probably tell you for sure I would feel a lot more connected. And that's okay, right? I'm practicing right now how to balance my own immersion with breaking down the visual novel for you guys and for myself. And I don't know how to balance it correctly, so I'm still figuring it out right now. Did you miss something? I took an extended conversation to talk about how certain characters have become way more appealing for me as I've grown older. And part of the reason why is how they understand conversation. And I use my own personal experience to explain why.
どうしたの？
忘れ物。悪い、ちょっと取ってくるから先に帰っててくれ。
ああ、うん、オッケー。
あったあった。
Yeah, this game has bad endings.
Arimura?
てかさ、この前はるかが井上と歩いてるとこ見たんだけど。
うっそ、何それマジ？はるかって白井くんと仲いいんじゃなかったの？
ちょっとひな、いつの話してんの？白井くんの後に森本くんといろいろあったじゃん。
嘘嘘、知らない知らない。何それ聞いてないんだけど。
Oh, Peaches, did you end up catching up with the archive? I hope you did.
まあ、ひなはいろいろ忙しそうだったじゃん。
うわー、ショックだわ。
てかさ、 私もそうやって男子にモテる方法を教えてほしいわ。
私は別に望んでやってるわけじゃないし。
知ってるって、あれは白井の方も悪かったって話じゃん。
そうそう、はるかがいい子だってことはうちらがよーくわかってるから。よしよし。そっかー、世の中いろいろ動いてますな。
やめてよ、ババアじゃないんだから。
いやいや、私はもう若い人たちにはついていけませんよ。
何それ、ウケる。
ところでさ、いいの時間。やばー、ほんとだ。てかいいのは行かないの？私はほら年だから、あとは若い人に任せて。
だからそれやめてって。じゃあまた。
Okay, well, we're on a new route, and a lot of the information we're going to see right now isn't going to be spoiling your experience of the reading of the common route. At least I imagine so.
オッケー、アディオスグラッシャー。はあ。あ。
Huh, why did she sigh there?
ちゃうっす、宮代先輩。
Okay, so supposedly I saw her in a conversation that was not meant to be seen. And she sighed loudly, as if she really was an old woman. She lazily put her hand on her shoulder and stretched her neck out. Yeah, okay, she's a little bit exhausted. I mean, that's how I feel sometimes too, man. Putting on like a charade gets exhausting sometimes. That's why I try to be as honest as I can with the stream.
おお、
もしかして今の見てました？
今のってのはさっきの会話のことを言ってるのか、それともだるそうな態度のことか、どっちだ？
あっちゃー、まさか両方見られていたとは。失敗。
Honestly, I'm way more curious about her in her past now. How do you be that chipper, given all the things that mean to you? Being lost. Well, I didn't phrase that correctly. How do you still be that happy with the assumption that I'm assuming right now that she's lost so much?
どうして行かないんだよ。
やだな、先輩ならわかるでしょ。めんどくさいからですよ。
Yeah, exactly.
みんな口先だけの上辺ばっかり。思ってもないこと言って楽しいふりして、ちょっとでも違うこと言えばそれだけで次からは仲間外れ。さっきのはるかって子は男子をとっかえ引っかえ、特に人の彼氏が好きで、すぐちょっかい出しては別れさせて、そのくせ人のものじゃなくなった途端に飽きてすぐにポイ。
That's wow. Do you know why she does that? That seems really morally decrepit.
他の子はみんなそれにムカついてるくせに調子合わせて笑ってる。リエにしてもマキにしてもそう。はるかのこといい子だとか言いながら、心の中ではそんなことこれっぽっちも思ってない。
Yeah, and I believe her, because she's able to understand that.
なのに顔では笑って適当に話し合わせて、薄っぺらい友情ごっこに興じてる。
Honestly, she's one of the people I want to know most about, in terms of her perspective on the world. Because if you can see and tell people's lies like this, right? How would that influence your thoughts about human beings?
ほんとバカみたいだし気持ち悪い。
Because, for me, the value of a lie and the truth can change based on the context. And because I understand that, I will forgive people for lying. Because there's big lies and there's small lies. And the intention behind the lie, if you can figure it out, can determine your stance against the person, right? Like, a small lie, like, I did 20 push-ups today. I didn't, but I did 20 push-ups today, guys. I'm willing to forgive that. Who gives a fuck? If that's you trying to persuade someone that you do exercises every day and you're concerned about your own mental image to people, then fine, I accept that, right?
あんな奴らと放課後まで一緒に過ごすなんて考えただけで吐き気がする。
But like other types of lies have different kinds of consequences. And I'm trying to find the ones that aren't so obvious and trying to understand lies done in such a way that they're more important to be told than the truth. And that is a unique circumstance, but I want to recognize it. I guess the reason why I want to recognize it is I recognize it in people. Like certain people very close to me. And I want to believe in them, which is why I need to be able to understand this. I don't know if you've ever been in that position before. Have you? It's a unique one, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who shares it. Where you recognize a certain pattern and you understand that you have some type of inkling that there's a lie being told here. And you're able to break it down and understand why that lie is being told. But you don't want to uncover it because of a certain reason. That sounds really miscellaneous. That's not what I'm trying to say. It sounds really suspicious, but certain circumstances are like that. And at least for this one person I'm thinking about, who's very close to me, I think about that a lot. And I'm trying to figure out how to handle it. Because it makes so much sense why this person has to do that. Man. Sometimes I wonder if I would have been happy going to an HR job. Human relations is something that I care about, but dealing with people all the time gets tiring. And there's still things that I don't know how to handle, despite how much I think about them or how much I engage in them, and my own awareness and blah blah blah. Like, to this day, I still don't know how to handle people who are extremely aggressive in their approach towards things, including me, alright? Like, why would you flub so many aspects of a conversation in doing something like that? But people will do that, right? To me, that's like, mess up 1, mess up 2, mess up 3. Why? Why would you do that? Why? What have we done that informs that? What's your perspective that makes you do that? How do I change the direction of this conversation so it's less atmospherically tense, right? I don't know how to handle that sometimes. And that's something that you need to know how to do, in my opinion, if you want to handle certain people in life. And then there's like, how do I engage in better conversations with complete strangers that I'm trying to understand for the very first time and get close to them because, for example, they're friends of a friend. How do I do that? And things like that. Like, despite all my knowledge and fucking conversations and communication and English and people, right? I still haven't figured that out. And yet other people have, but that's room for me to learn, you know? Thinking about it now, my own beliefs have really helped me and also hurt me in certain regards, but there's a certain person that I've brought up multiple times that suddenly things have completely relaxed themselves. And I'm really glad that I've taken the time to understand things like this because, I don't know, life just becomes better if you do. That's how I feel. I still don't know how to handle certain things though. And I guess that's why I approach literature so much, because I don't know the answer to things.
Deも一番嫌いなのは、そんな人たちの中で笑顔を浮かべてる自分。
有村。
なんてね。てへ。やだな、もうそんな顔しないでくださいよ。こっちが困っちゃうじゃないっすか。
Yeah, I get that. Because some people don't like heavy tones and heavy atmospheres. I know some people like that too. Holy shit, man, it's exhausting too.
なあ、一つ聞いてもいいか?
That's not her fault. That's her making a read that the atmosphere is too heavy.
なんです？
なんで僕にそんな話を?
It's just that talking about conversation and communication in general leads me to think about so many things and like my past relationships, etc. That's why I'm thinking about this.
え？
僕と君はまだ知り合ったばかりだろ。ついこの前まではまともに話したってできなかった。そんな僕にどうしてそんな話を聞かせるんだ?
You know, that's a fair question. If I had to break it down, my honest opinion is that because Aramura and the main character experience danger with each other, that they felt a sense of closeness. And whether that's legitimate or not, it happened. And she entered into a physical location, which is his house, which you don't invite people normally unless you trust them by the circumstances. And so there's a lot of weird things that went out of order, but would normally be part of a relationship in which you're close with someone. And so she's been put in that position, and now feels that by circumstances and events that she's closer to the main character. And she's someone who also understands people very well. Even without her power, she can do that. So the question is, why are you telling me this? And the answer was, these events led us to believe that this is our relationship now. Is this reciprocity? Not exactly. Huh. Okay, go on.
なんででしょう？
僕が君と同じギガロマニアックスだからか。
そうっすね。まあ、それもあるかもしれないですけど。
Hey Nick, how you doing, man?
けど、
多分、先輩が分かりやすいからじゃないっすかね。
Really? Okay, so she likes the fact that he's so transparent.
分かりやすい？
宮代先輩って感情がすぐに表に出るでしょ？嘘ついたらすぐにテンパるし。
You know what? Yeah, I can see why she appreciates that.
バカ言うな。僕は常にポーカーフェイスな男だぞ。そんなわけあるはずがないだろ。
Because if you have to keep breaking down a person's interpretation, incorrect. If you have to keep breaking down a person's intention because you're unaware of who they are, or because they are not trying to let you know who they are or what they're trying to do, that gets exhausting.
ほら、そうやって慌てる。
Oh my god, who is a person like that? Does it matter?
違う、今のはただ。
ほうほう、ただ、なんです？あ、いた。おーい、タク。
尾上？あ、なんだよ。お前も忘れ物か？
もう、違うよ。タクが遅いから様子見に戻ってきたんじゃん。
先に帰ってろって言っただろ。
それはそうだけどさ。ほら、タク、今朝言ってたでしょ？そろそろスマホ買わないとって。もし行くなら一緒に行こうと思って。
I know this is really unimportant, but you see the light to the right of the screen? I like how the light to the right of the screen actually reflects onto the characters.
会に。
おいおい、何勝手に今日行くことにしてるんだよ。
違 うの？私は遠慮しとく。友達に会っちゃったら気まずいし。そう？よくわかんないけど残念。そんじゃ私はこれでドローンします。アディオスグラッシャー。
What the fuck? Hey, Amara, please. Why did you keep saying that line?
なあ、おのえ。
お？
僕ってわかりやすいか？
Well, I mean, that's kind of biased coming from Serica, but yeah, I agree.
どうしたのタク？落ち込んじゃって。
なんでもないよ。
それにしてもひなちゃんって面白いね。
そうか？
タクだって楽しそうに話してたじゃん。
楽しいというか、まあ嫌じゃないのかもな。
そっかそっか。
なんだよ。だからなんで嬉しそうなんだ？
別になんでもない。それよりスマホを買いに行かないの？
やっぱ今日はやめておくことにする。
そうなの？なんだ、じゃあ先に帰ってればよかった。
だからそう言っただろ。
つまんない。じゃあのんちゃんでも誘って会期祝いに甘いものでも食べに行こっかな。
そうしてやってくれ。クルスも喜ぶだろ。
オッケー。じゃあまたねタク。
ああ。
Oh, more of this, huh? 2005, 10 years ago. 1 year before the earthquake. Okay.
Hora, Hina. 口の周りにクリームついてるぞ。
嘘、お兄ちゃん取って。
No. 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 Don't do that. That's sus.
しょうがないな。ほら、取れたぞ。
ありがとう、お兄ちゃん。
ひなえは本当にお兄ちゃん子だな。
そうね。でも慎吾ちゃんがひなちゃんの面倒を見てくれるから助かるわ。
これからもひなえのこと頼んだぞ、慎吾。
What are they doing here? Oh, it's a birthday cake, obviously. Earthquake was 2009. So that means right now is 2015. So 6 years ago was the earthquake. 2005, 10 years ago. 2006. Oh, okay. 2006, 6 years ago. That's why I got it confused. So this is 4 years before the earthquake. Okay.
What? どうした？もしかしていじめられてるのか？
違うよ、いじめられてなんかない。
ひなえ、嘘はダメだぞ。嘘だけはついちゃいけないんだ。そんな卑怯な人間になっちゃいけない。
本当はね、私
だったら兄ちゃんと練習しようか。いい
の？
当たり前だろ。上手くなればきっとみんなも怒ったりしなくなる。
Oh, Jimbu, thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you look forward to the new emotes, man. So for this coming month, I'm aiming to do a couple of things. So one of the possibilities is I stream Valkyria Chronicles 3, and we do like a subscriber incentive. I do AU Senki, or I do Battle Chef Brigade, I think that's what it's called. I could also do more Umaneko fighting game streams. That's always sick, right? Kinda, not really. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm not gonna buy a Switch because that's too much of an investment that I can't make. So, of those 4 things, if any of them interest you, I hope to see you back. Oh boy. So, slowly we're gonna find out more of those cracks. Yeah, this is why I want to know more about her. I'm worried for her. You'd watch Ogon? Cool! Oh, Peaches, if you haven't already, I really recommend that you join our Discord, man. I think in the future, when I do more visual novel streams, I would love to have you around. And for anyone who's interested in like seeing how I break down stuff, you know, join our Discord. I would also like recommendations from you as well. As like, if I appreciate something and I'm unaware of other works that do the same thing, I would love to know from your experience what you would consider relevant, you know?
で、どうする？おい、聞いてんのかよ、宮代。
聞いてるよ。これからの新聞部の方向性だろ。
ったく、分かってんならそう言えよ。ボケーっと窓の外なんか見て気の抜けたあくびしやがって。
I mean, if you're super interested in Umaneko and me breaking it down, there's a few things I need to do. First, I need to transfer over files to my laptop. Because me watching it on the big screen like this, with this kind of setup, I would prefer than just reading it on my computer. And then the second thing I would need to do is I would need to change the files to the Alchemist images. Because I'm biased and I like the Alchemist images. Alchemist is a company that did the original images for Umaneko. That's what I'm saying. Not the original, but like the PS2 adaptations. Umaneko kind of starts slow though, so it's gonna be hard for me to keep your interest initially, but I'm assuming you've already read it, so join it whenever you want, and I'll be able to help you. Or maybe not help you, just show you my thought process. Maybe that would be interesting enough.
まあ、女帝との約束もあんだろうし、しょうがないっちゃしょうがないんだろうけどさ。
別にそういうんじゃないよ。ただ、何も起きなければ動きようがないってだけだ。
I wonder how hard it's gonna be. Because I normally don't engage in mysteries, and I don't know how hard Umaneko's mystery is. When I read it, I didn't know anything about mystery, period. All the stickers have been removed? That's unique. I don't recall that ever happening in the common route. So, did she take what we said and say, oh, Taku doesn't want to deal with this anymore. Stickers down? Interesting. Is this where we're going in the route now? this is really cool. I like that.
あれは
どうした？
いや、
ああ、なんだ、有村に和樹か。
Yeah, I don't recognize this happening in the common route, and obviously we're not on it anymore. But like the divergence of what would normally be considered part of the main story is starting to happen. It's becoming very clear.
珍しい組み合わせだなと思ってさ。
確かにな。
Yeah,
でもこの前のことあっただろう。ほら、有村の勢いに思わず和樹がって。
そういや、あれはさすがの僕も驚いたな。なんだって初めてのことだったから。
Okay, so this is our Discord. If you can join it, Peaches, I'd love to see you there. But yeah, this is difficult to do, but if you're this isn't easy, and it's possible, but if you're a good enough conversationalist, you can make people who don't speak normally speak. But it will never happen unless the person who wants to speak is willing to do so. Because, you know, if I want to make you speak and you don't want to talk to me, it's up to you. I can't change that.
だな。今まで笑い声は聞いたことあっても、喋ってるところなんて聞いたことなかったし。そういや最近仲いいじゃないか、有村と。
はあ？
とぼけんなって。この前も放課後に二人で楽しそうにしてたって聞いたぞ。
別に特別仲がいいってわけじゃない。ただ有村はほら、言ってみれば同類みたいなもんだろ。だからそれなりに話したってする。その程度だ。
なんだよそれ。も
ったいないって何かだよ。
知らねえの？有村ってあいつ結構人気あんだぜ。
Yeah, I can see that.
人気？人気って要するに男子の間でってことか。
You know what I'm really curious about? Who are the most popular characters in Chaos Child? I have no idea if people really care about Chaos Child in the West. At least I don't see no one talking about it. But maybe in Japan it was extremely popular.
だってほら見ろよ。見てくれだってまあそこそこレベル高えし、誰とでも明るく接するタイプじゃん。
それはあいつの能力が。
そんなのはどうだっていいんだって。みんな知らねえんだからさ。要は受け取る方がどう受け取るかってことだろ。
It was initially an exclusive release for Xbox One. Wow, really? That is... Oh, they're probably trying to sell the console there. That's why they did that. Like...
にしても、お前ほんとそういうの疎いよな。それでよく人のこと情弱だなんだ言うぜ。まったく。
What is it? Oh, it was like when Idolmaster was on the Xbox. I remember that. That's like something that you could use to sell the freaking console.
あのナイト、勘違いしているようだから一石ぶってやろうか。
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, but the Xbox doesn't really do well in Japan, apparently.
言っておくけど、誰かが人気だとか、誰と誰が付き合ってるとか、そうした情報なんて、この壁宝学園というほんの小さなコミュニティ内での些細でどうでもいい情報でしかない。
You know, I kind of wonder how the Xbox One is doing right now. I'm not really, like, a console loyalist or anything. If there's a console that has games that I'm interested in, I'll get it. But, I still don't have an Xbox One, and I still don't have a Switch.
そんなこと知っていたところで真の状況とは言えないし、ましてや物事の真実を見極めるような大舞台は待っていないぞ。せいぜいがギャルゲーの中での親友ポジション止まりだ。
What's happening here? Hang on. This is a good analysis of that. He's getting a little bit better. You really are dense about this stuff, though I don't know where you get off calling people wrong-siders. Listen, Ito. Since you seem to be misunderstanding this, I'll give you a lecture. Just so we're clear who's popular and who's dating who, are minor pieces of information that are only valuable within a small community of the Hekiho Academy. Knowing those facts doesn't make you a true right-sider. Doesn't... No. You got it completely wrong. That's not why you're... That's not why he's saying he doesn't understand why you get off calling people wrong-siders. It's because your interpretation of her is really off, and your understanding of yourself is off. That's why he's confused about why you are so interested in that.
誰がギャルゲーの親友キャラだ誰が
さっきのお前の発言なんてそのものじゃないか。
言われてみりゃ確かにそんな発言だったような気がしてきた。
ほら、どうでもいいことで落ち込むな。授業始まるぞ。
You know what? In the chat right now, your favorite character in Chaos Child. You can only choose 3. So name 3 of your favorite characters. For me, it's Serika, Arimura, no. I'm pretty sure those are my top 3 at the current moment. No. Wow, that's pretty strong.
タク、今日は部活あるの？
Peaches. Takeru, Serika, spoiler redacted. Awesome. Kurusu. Okay.
特に何をするってのもないけど、一応部室には行こうと思ってる。それにしてもお前早いな。
It really depends for how the Takeru... Wow, that's completely off. It really depends on how the main character develops for me to like him or not. Right now, I'm swinging more towards positive. Early on in the visual novel, really negative, but I accepted his flaws. In Steins Gate, same thing. Not too negative. It was like slightly negative, and then it went really positive. For Crisaya, it started, oh my god, subterranean levels of negative. And when I read that visual novel eventually in the future, I hope it rises way above surface level.
お？うん。今日はなんか授業が早く終わったから。
Subterranean levels of negative. Oh my, save me.
まあいいや。それじゃあ部室に。
チャオース！
Any major changes in the route so far? Huge implications that the main character is getting a little bit exhausted of the murder case, and he expressed that he's kind of okay with the true killer being the pyromaniac. And it was asked in such a way that it was pretty obvious that Serika was contemplating whether to stop certain things or not. And just a few moments ago, we found out Serika was removing stickers from the town, which is something funky because, yeah, it's funky.
おい、あれ有村ひないだろ？2年の。
本当だ。俺、ああいう裏表なさそうな元気な子って好みなんだけど。
つうか、うちのクラスに何の用だ？
宮代先輩は、あ、いた。
はあ、嘘マジで。
つうか、なんで宮代みたいなやつのとこに。
宮代先輩、チャオス。
Okay, and we're going with a positive interpretation.
おう。
あ、セリも来てたんだ。チャオス。チャオス。
Ciao? Don't you say ciao when you leave? Can you say ciao when you say hi? You know, I'm gonna look it up right now. Now I'm actually curious. I don't think I'll ever use ciao. Oh, no, I've used it before as a joke, but... Use as a greeting at meeting or party. You can use it for both? Wow, that's really convenient.
ところで有村までどうしたんだよ、わざわざ。
やだなあ。私がここに来る理由なんて一つしかないじゃないですか。
What, Tenebrae, you don't know about this? This is the game mechanic. Wow, this is kind of weird. How much do you know about the story now? I thought you were here for the entire time of the Chaos Child streams. Do you know what happens at the end of the common route?
タクル王子、お迎えに上がりました。
王子
やはり記憶をなくされてしまっているのですね。では仕方ありません。説明を。
Okay, well, this is just the game mechanics, which had very little influence early on in the game. But now that we understand how these powers work, we can control which route we've gone on. Me doing this influences what I see. Even though it isn't reality, you obviously know we can make it real.
説明なら私がするよ、タク。
But right now, this isn't reality.
おのえ。
実は今まで黙っていたけど、私たちは地球より360万光年離れた惑星ギガローマからやってきた宇宙人なんだよ。
Okay.
そしてタク、あなたも。
僕が宇宙人？
そう。惑星ギガロ
Where'd you come
ーマ
from?
は6つの王国に分かれています。そのうち5つの国は女系国家。そして唯一男性がいる国がタクル王子。あなたの
クルスまで何言ってるんだ。大丈夫か？気は確かか？
What?
信じられないのも無理ないよね。でもこれは事実なんだよ。
Okay, well, besides the visual indicator that it's obviously a delusion, it's how she's speaking.
私たちはね、それぞれの国のお姫様であなたの妃の座を射止めるために留学先であるこの国へとやってきたの。けれどタクル王子、あなたはこの星へやってきた時にこの町で起きた地震に巻き込まれ記憶をなくしちゃってたんだよ。
ちょっと待て、尊すぎてついていけないんだけど。
私たちはみんなあなたの記憶が戻るまで待っていたわ。けどそれももう限界。そろそろ相手を決めてもらわなきゃ。私たちの国がギガローマの星そのものが消滅してしまうかもしれないの。
タクル王子、私と結婚してほしいかも。
What?
カズキ、お前もか？
I know, right? No! No!
結婚したいです。
You're too young!
山添まで？
分かっていただけましたか、タクル王子。分かったのなら私をあなたの将来のパートナーに、そしてその証に熱い口づけを。
Don't you see me as your brother? No, no, no.
ちょっと待ってよ。のんちゃんだけ抜け駆けしてずるい。タクと一番仲いいのは私だもん。ねえタク、タクは私のこと選んでくれるよね。
いや、ちょっと待って。選ぶも何も急すぎて何が何だか。
そんな、宮代先輩は私のことが好きなはずです。ね、宮代先輩。
3 years younger than Taku? That's 1 year too... That's 3 years too many.
あ、いや。
待って、その人は私のものなの。
そのキャラ違和感ひどすぎるんですけど。
Yeah, we have to do individual routes first, and then we'll get onto the true route.
いいえ、私のものです。
Yeah, so you probably weren't here for early parts of the game, But in the early parts of the game, you can choose your delusions, positive or negative, and it influences how Taku sees the scene in front of him. You can also choose just neutral and nothing happens, right? But the reason why these exist, that we found out now after playing the game, is that these truly are ways of influencing the direction of how the story goes. But originally, when you play the game, they have no influence whatsoever. Like, you can just choose all negative if you wanted to, nothing will happen. For the most part, I think. Let's see. So, after that's been introduced as a mechanic, the game starts going crazy, and you no longer can tell whether delusions are real or not, and they do that on purpose, obviously. But after hitting that part of the story where delusions aren't able to be figured out if they're real or fake, right? We now hit where we are in the common route, which is we finished it. And now we understand that delusions can be used effectively to control reality. And now we go all the way back to the beginning of the story, and now our context for seeing these scenes have changed. So yeah, this is a delusion. It's not real, but how I play about it will result in a different kind of interpretation of the story, because we're influencing reality to some degree. It's a pretty decent critique, though, to say that these scenes don't seem to add much in terms of, like, strength of choices. Like, when you first play the game and you make these decisions, nothing seems to happen, right? And even as I'm doing it now, they're not consequences that I have to live with. It just happens. So it's hard to see where, like, the direction of things are going if it's your first time playing the game. Are there joke ends? I don't know. And I'm not a really big fan of all the delusional scenes, but some of them are good. My favorite one was Star Wars. The Star Wars one. What the fuck? Please. It's funny. It's really funny. Because every single time we have these delusions, Serica can see what we're thinking. Can you imagine that? What the hell Serica's thinking?
Senpai, 聞いてます?
Yeah, her expression changes too.
ここに来た理由だよな。
例の件、なんか進展あったかなって。
いや、特に進展といったものはないよ。
ありゃりゃ、そうっすか。残念。あれ？でもタク、今から部室に行くんじゃないの？
You know, I kind of wonder now. In every single scene in which Serica is there and the main character has a delusion, does her expression change? I'm gonna pay attention to that now. Was that a visual indicator that she knows something?
まあ、一応そのつもりだけど。
So far, for the two scenes that I've seen, I'm 2 for 2. As in, Serica has changed her expression after you had delusion.
じゃあ、ひなちゃんも一緒に行けばいいじゃん。え？だって、タク一人じゃつまんないでしょ？
一人って、尾上は来ないのか？
私は、休養があったのを思い出しちゃった。
そっか。
ちなみにのんちゃんは生徒会の仕事で、しんちゃんも今日は用事があるって言ってたよ。そういうわけだから、ひなちゃん、今日はタクのことお願いね。バイバーイ。え？あ、セリー？
Yeah, I definitely didn't call out Serika having mind-reading powers, but I definitely called out mind control. I knew that there was something really funky with Serika based on how she would react to certain things, but I never took the visual indicators that the game gave me. Which is a little unfortunate because I wish I could have picked up on that. I want to double check. Did I never consider Serika having mind-reading powers? I don't know. It's been a while. I'm not sure if I broke down things that have that implication and understood. Could have just been the thing. Who knows? Huh.
別に尾上の言うことは気にしなくていいぞ。なんだよ。
先輩、忘れてません？私の能力のこと。
I mean, how would she... Oh my god, if I were Serika and I could read the main character's mind... Remember that bathroom scene in that delusion? Oh my god, what would you do? It's like, I see, that's what you're thinking.
まあ、先輩も一人で部活ってのも寂しいでしょうし、しょうがない。付き合ってあげましょう。
おい、別に僕は寂しくなんてないし、付き合ってくれとも言っていない。
はいはい、わかりましたわかりました。それじゃレッツゴー。
あれ？
あれ？花、なんだ来てたんだ。
Do you only play that one game? You've been stuck on that screen for ages now. I'm just letting you know.
何やってるの？また演出？うん。演出ってそんなに面白いの？うん。そっか。だったら私も今度やってみよっかな。
You know, I'm curious. Why is her outfit so different? I mean, wow, I just noticed. But anyway, yeah, why is her outfit different? Because most outfits are on the left, and her outfit on the right is different. Maybe they're different years? That could be a thing, I guess. Are those zippers? Alongside the side of her outfit? No, that can't be the case. I think it's just the fabric that elongates it. What happens if you take that away? Hang on. I think the design of having those lines across the outfit helped define her shape better, though. So that makes a lot more sense of why you would do that. It's so weird that I'm looking at it because I'm looking at her breasts. That's not something that I was intending to do, but I'm doing it. You know, is that the reason why they did that? No, it can't be. And how does that tie work? How does that tie work? It's not even tied to her neck. So it's a part of the uniform? Like the outside layer, I guess? I was so confused when I first saw these outfits. I'm like, how does this work? So she's wearing a jacket on the left. I get that now. But it's so embedded into the same color of the outfit that it looks like it's one outfit. Which I thought was cool. Color design-wise, it's like navy, blue, and white. And black, if you consider that black there. So that's the color design of the school. White, black, navy, blue. And a little bit of red to add something else. And they let the hair be distinguishing for the characters? I guess so. Is everyone's hair color different? Let me see. Oh, for the most part, yeah. Wow. Okay, that's a decent design decision. Does she need the headphones though? Let me see. Take that away for a second. It adds volume to her neck. I'm trying to see it. Hang on. I guess without the headphones, it makes her neck look a little bit longer. Okay, but you add that in, and you're adding a balance of gray. I mean, gamer-wise, it makes sense why that accessory adds to her. What is that thing that she's wearing on the inside? It looks like a regular shirt, but it's way too close to her body. It's almost skin tight. That's the thing. And then it extends down to her outfit, so it looks like she's wearing a bodysuit sometimes. If you didn't have that white layer there, you wouldn't see it that way. In fact, it would look like this. So what I'm doing is I'm covering certain parts of her clothing to see how it would look without certain accessories. It actually looks really cool. If you could have done it that way, it looks kind of like a Tron outfit if you let it all stick together as that singular black color. So this is nothing too important, but I'm just looking at visual design because I'm still curious about that. Eventually, when I get time, I want to move from the book I'm reading, which is about essentially writing tips. And I want to go into a book about visual design and how certain decisions are made, because I'm really curious about it. Like, have you ever seen logo designs for famous companies? And how a small quirk adds more to the logo? So what's a good example? How about Apple? So here's the Apple logo, right? And you obviously recognize it. And we're talking Apple as in Apple computers and blah, 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 right? So it's not just an apple, it's an apple with a bite in it. Have you ever recognized that before? It took me a while to recognize that. Actually, it's a bite in it. Oh, it makes sense. So then, the question is, how does the logo like add more to the understanding of the company, right? And I can't say much about Apple because I don't know much of them as a company in general. But someone broke this down and how the logo for the Apple company makes sense. One of it has to do with shapes and something about how if you go within this circular type of structure for a logo, it looks better. So how do I explain it? You see that bite inside the apple, right? That bite is done with a circle, and that circle, if you use it correctly in creating symmetry for logos, it looks really good. Well, what else? Someone mentioned the FedEx logo and how that the logo itself is a combination of a few things. So hang on. Let's look at the FedEx logo. So I don't consider myself a design expert because I'm freaking not. But it's something that I'm interested in, which is why I want to learn about it. Let's look at FedEx. So FedEx is super simple, but there's something hidden within it. So if you recognize it or not, don't tell anyone. So FedEx, they went with two colors, right? And they broke it down to have, I guess, their color scheme of their company, which is obviously reflected within their logo. So you have white, you have purple, you have orange. So that allows people to recognize the color scheme of the company and recognize when they've seen that company. But also within the logo, which is pretty simple, right, in terms of how it's made with the font and how the symmetry of the F and the E look kind of similar and how the E's back bounces with the D, right, and it creates that kind of balance. But if you look at the E and the X, you'll see a direction. And that direction is here. Where I put this O is where you're gonna see a direction. Do you see that right now, what I'm pointing at? That, right there. The direction forward, because what is FedEx? It's a freaking delivery company. Right? But it's not just a delivery company, it's a company that does something else as well. Which is... actually, I'm not entirely sure about this. But whenever I go to a FedEx, they always have multiple things. So I can deliver things, which is their X part, right? Where the arrow is supposed to be. And I can also print things. So if the reason why they have two colors on their logo besides white, right? So orange and purple is because they don't just do delivery, they do printing. Then that makes sense design-wise. So white, orange, purple, the colors of their company. Making the letters orange and purple to show that they have dual kinds of properties in their company. Will ship or will print, alright? And then having the direction on the X part, which is a hidden thing that's saying, "Oh, we deliver," right? It's all small things like that that add to like cool designs and features like that. And I don't know. If you come to like understand visual design more, you understand like decision making that they make for not just logos but also characters, right? And seeing designs for characters, I find incredibly interesting. And I want to read about that. That's really all I'm saying.
なあ、二人ともいつの間にそんなに仲良くなったんだ?
You know, eventually, I'm gonna have to balance out the visual novel stream with something else because our community isn't really based around visual novels, but it's something that I really appreciate.
いつって、先輩も知ってるでしょ？つい最近ですよ。話してみたら意外と馬があったっていうか、ねえ。
それにしても普段どんな話をしてるんだ？
別に普通ですよ。普通。学校であったこととかプライベートのこととか昔の話とか。まあいいじゃないですか。それより先輩、事件のこと、一応昨日の夜例の刑事さんから連絡があったんですけど。
何か新しいことでも分かったのか？
なんにも進んでないっぽいです。ほんと警察って肝心な時に役に立たないですよね。
そっか。
You know, I want to confirm something. Whenever you guys have gone to a FedEx office, can you print things there? Or is it just conveniently, whenever I've gone to a FedEx office, I've been able to print things? They own Kinko's now, maybe? Is that how it works? So they own Kinko. So definitely they have that dual aspect of what they can do now. That'll make sense. There's actually a standard any shipping reserve. Oh, cool.
言っときますけど先輩、だからってまたいろいろと探り回ったりはしない方がいいですよ。それと例の能力ですけど、まさか使ったりしてませんよね。
You know, here's another question. When's the last time you saw a person wear bows in their hair like that?
言われなくても大丈夫だって。
That's a very young look, isn't it?
ふむふむ、どうやら本当みたいですね。じゃあ、いい子いい子してあげます。
I guess the correct term is ribbon. Is it? What is that? Is it a ribbon? Hair ties? Sure, hair ties.
やめろって。こんなことで嘘ついたってしょうがないだろ。
でも一応念を押しとかないと、これ以上知り合いがあんな目に遭うのは嫌ですからね。それより先輩、 いい加減連絡手段なんとかした方がいいんじゃないですか？
Yeah, getting a phone is important.
今みたいな状態じゃ何かあった時に困るんですけど、ほら今の私たちって一連卓勝みたいなもんじゃないっすか。どうかしました？
別に。でもそうだな。
Oh god, that
確か
reminds
に
me.
そのうち買わなきゃなとは思ってるよ。
I had a question, but I don't think it's gonna be received too well. I'll ask it anyway. I was thinking about doing a subscriber incentive, where if people subscribe, they could ask me to freaking watch a movie with them, in which I commentated for analytical stuff. And then I realized, I kind of just want to do that anyway. But anyway, I was thinking about that because I need to watch this documentary about film noir. Oh god, I gotta go into art history. Not art history, I gotta go to film history too. So many things I need to do, man.
よし、じゃあ買いに行きましょう。日曜日に決まり。
は？何勝手に決めてるんだよ。そもそもなんで日曜なんだ？
その方がいろいろ息抜きもできるし楽しいでしょ。
Man, if I can go back to school, I'd go back to school for film, actually.
楽しいでしょって、もしかして一緒に来るつもりか？
だって私もたまには息抜きに遊びたいし。
それなら友達と遊びに行けばいいじゃないか。
先輩が言ってる友達というのが私がよく一緒にいるクラスの子たちって意味ならまっぴらごめんです。
なんで？
楽しくないんだもん。
それって裏を返せば僕とだったら楽しいってこ。
ほら先輩は私の能力のこと分かってるじゃないっすか。それだけでこっちも気分的に楽なんですよ。
What a character, man.
だったらせっかくだし尾上も誘って。
Hana, why?
おい、いきなり何するんだ。分かったよ。和樹も連れてけって言うんだろ。
What? No, that's not it. Wow, how dense do you have to be? I don't understand.
尾上は誘うなってことか。じゃあクーですか伊藤。
No.
じゃそういうことで日曜の正午にハチ公前でアディオスグラッシャー。
有村。
Oh, Sentient 12. What a name. That's cool. That's the first time I've seen you here, man. How you doing?
Date.
Adios, gracias. Why? You know what I'm interested in? I'm interested in cultural differences between communication. I keep forgetting that certain social conventions for speaking don't apply to the rest of the world. And I realized that today. I know that's super random, but certain things are universal, obviously. But certain other things aren't. And I'm trying to figure out the parts that aren't. I'll have to read more. God, there's so much reading I need to do. That's crazy. It feels so strange too. Like when I was in college and in school, I didn't want to read as much as I do now. That's so funky. How does that work? I guess I was always so busy though. Always reading something else. Freaking Bach. How you doing, by the way? Hey, by the way, Bach, do you have Fire Emblem Warriors yet? What's your opinion of the game? Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, Teleport and Turtle. I'm thinking the same thing.
大丈夫。僕はリア充だ。
I really gotta make time for it too. I might set aside a day where I don't stream whatsoever and I just focus completely on reading. Okay, alright then. I guess that means 100% I should buy it when I get the Switch. Were you okay with the game in general though? Like, there was talks about how the game didn't treat the characters trustfully. And I'm not sure if you feel the same way. Nah, I trust in Bach's opinion when it comes to Fire Emblem. A lot, actually. He cares a lot about the series, and I do too. If you're one of the hardcore audiences that really value the lore, I guess, the core of the Fire Emblem main gameplay, then avoid it. You're talking about the gameplay, which is strategy, which I'm usually expecting. How would I approach it then? You know, I never actually asked you this, Bach, but when did you first get into Fire Emblem? Did you get into Fire Emblem with Awakening? Because I played the earlier Fire Emblems, but in all honesty, I only really cared when Awakening happened, and then I cared a lot afterwards. Oh my god, what is he reading? Of course, he's reading People's Magazine, my favorite. Oh, so you started earlier. Yeah, it was, I forgot where the question was going. Oh, yeah, so there's this unfortunate divide within the Fire Emblem community that I recognized. So there's the hardcore older audience, and then there's, like, the newer audience, right? And obviously there's, like, a middle ground where, you know, they've come to accept each other, but it was really strange interacting with the Fire Emblem community for a little bit, where I was kind of worried about people's, like, expectations of me being a new member of Fire Emblem. But why did I bring this up? I guess I'm bringing it up because of the huge amount of influence that Lucina has in representation for Fire Emblem right now, whereas certain other characters aren't getting that kind of, like, attention anymore. But slowly but surely other characters are. So Lynn is the one with the green hair and the sword, correct? Lindis, right? I know she's a very popular character if I remember correctly. The thing is, I haven't had much experience with older Fire Emblem games, but when I tried the remake for Echoes, I fell completely in love. I was like, wow, this is really well done. And whoever wrote this story, or essentially rewrote it, right, knew exactly why people cared about the Fire Emblem series. And then I saw that, and I thought to myself, I wish I could have done that. Wow. It was so beautifully well done. Amazing music, good atmosphere. I really wish the politics and the moral conundrums would appear in that particular story. It wasn't so much. What was it? But just that kind of atmosphere that I don't know if it exists in certain games anymore that I want to try. Like when I first played Final Fantasy Tactics, right? And I got that kind of medieval fantasy feel with a little bit of a grunginess that I kind of wanted. I got a little bit out of that with the Fire Emblem Echoes edition, right? And I'm still looking for games just like that, where it's not too heavy, but it's heavy enough to make you think. And it has these war elements that make you actually consider certain decisions, strategy, yeah? But not just that, it's a setting. And the setting is a freaking war story, right? In which you have conflicts of different interests and humanities in a different kind of perspective. And I find that really interesting. And I want to see more of that. So, I don't know why I'm even talking about this in the first place. How did I go into this? My appreciation of Fire Emblem and Bach came in. Oh, yeah, that's why. Sheesh, man. I hope that the next Fire Emblem game that comes out on the Switch is going to convey all of that. I don't expect it to, but if it does, I feel very much glad. There's a problem with the current Fire Emblem games, in my opinion, even though they're the ones that brought me into the game in the first place, right? And it's something that I was really concerned about, which is I love the marriage mechanics because they add another gameplay and more customization to the player experience and strategy. And I love that aspect of marriage as a mechanic in the game, right? But the thing I don't like is that at a certain part in the game, once you've married, it feels like there's nothing else that the character is going to add. And when Echoes somehow made every character relevant, I was surprised. Because how much effort do you need to do to make every character have a line that's relevant? And you talk to them throughout the entire story, and it makes them feel like they care. That if that was given the same treatment for certain characters I cared about in the modern day Fire Emblem games, I'd feel very much impressed, but also appreciative, you know? Like, we all have different kind of preferences, and for Fire Emblem, for character-wise, I like freaking... I like Na. For a very dumb reason. Simply because her mother had the audacity to name her child something as a joke. And I was like, wow, that's extremely neglectful. Why would you do that? And ever since I realized that, I was like, I kind of recognize something within this character that I care about, which is how does she handle her relationship with her mom when their views are so differential from each other, right? Because I had that relationship with myself and my mom. And I was like, okay, I care about this, right? Or like, how these people handle the fact that in the future, everything is dead. And this is the future that they have to prevent. And they come back and see people that they want to keep alive, but the future says no, right? That kind of element, which could have been brought up way better in Awakening. That's something I want to know about, right? There's these small things that add up to characters that are interesting to me. And I like the character designs in Fire Emblem, right? Not just visually, but like how small things add up and make people care. That's the cool thing, right? And if they gave the same treatment to those characters as they did in Echoes, I think the people ultimately appreciate that. Like, I wanted to know more about, I don't know, who's a good example? Sure, Owen, right? Odin, whichever you want to call him. Because, yeah, he was a comic relief character, but I wanted to know more about him because I wanted to see if he could develop that further. Or how about... Who was how about Severa, right? I love Severa a lot, too. She has that tsundere tendency that I'm not a big fan of, but how her lines were enunciated when she would strike someone gave that kind of thrill that I felt in my body. It's a really strange thing. It's so not really deep, right? But small things added up, and I started caring. And I wanted to know more about her because I was like, is there anything else to this character, or is it just all surface level? And I don't want it just to be surface level, right? I want to understand something better and ideally appreciate it more. But small things like that, where in like Echoes, I felt that they gave enough attention to the characters to show their appreciation of the series, because whoever did the remake of that game definitely understood why people cared about the series in general. Sorry, that was a huge tangent, and it's actually not really that relevant to Chaos Child. But we were on the topic of design, right? And the more I pay attention to design, the more I start to understand decision making that's going into it. It's the same thing when it goes to like. It's the same thing. Sorry, I'm interrupting again here. It's the same thing that I'm doing essentially for writing here, where I'm unveiling aspects of the writing to show you decision making that the author is making. And if I understood that more about visual design, I think I'd come away from that understanding a lot more about life. And I want to inform myself about that better because I care about it.
そうじゃなくて、あれの新しいのない？
あれってなんだ?
Well, I mean, for Fire Emblem, I wouldn't say that I had much of anything in terms of depth in the visual reading, right? Because I'm not that good when it comes to analyzing visuals, which is why I practice so hard when it comes to like movies, right? Because luckily, movies have a certain thing about them that's very relevant to literature. And my background being in literature allows me to break down certain movies in a way. But for just decision making when it comes to just still design, I can't tell you anything.
だからほら、いつものクールキャット。
But if you ever wondered or had the interpretation that I think too much, yeah, that would be correct. But that's fine to me. It has a lot to do with how I want to view life. I don't want to go too deeply into that, but the basic idea is that a world without meaning to me is a world that isn't worth living.
あれな、どうだろうな。
あるなら欲しいんだよ、明日までに。
It feels like Gen is talking to me. Well, I mean, if you want a drink, buddy, here, I'll join you.
明日まで？それは無理だな。
そう言わないでさ、頼むよ、俺なら弾むから。
Oh yeah, speaking of which, what happened to the article about this game you were writing? I checked like yesterday, I didn't see it. So my editor hasn't fully edited the article about Chaos Child, which isn't even really crazy at all. It's just me recommending games similar to Chaos Child and explaining why the themes of Chaos Child, if you're interested in them, would guide you towards these games. And I would say Chaos Child reveals X, Y, and Z. This game focuses more on Y and not so much X, but it also unveils A, B, C, right? That's what I would be doing for the article. Eventually, sometime during the week, I need to read Doki Doki Literature Club, but I'm not going to be doing it on stream. It's for work, actually. I think the best way to handle it is I read it first, and then I write the article. So if I want to write the article near the end of the week, I will read it a few days before, but not too far away. So I'm taking my time doing whatever the hell I want until that happens, because I want things to be more fresh in my memory.
Yoshi, そろそろ行くか。
What is that picture to the right? Is it a picture of a bunch of dogs? Yeah, I think it is. I never noticed that before. That doesn't work on her, you idiot. She can read truth and lie.
ごめん、待った。
遅い。
え？
何やってんすか先輩。女の子待たせるとか超ありえないんですけど。
え？あ、いや、その
こんなところで待たせてナンパでもされちゃったりしたらどうしてくれるんですか？さっきだってもうちょっとで声かけられるところだったんですからね。
Huh, that's a pretty nice outfit. Man, talking about fashion, I wish I got back into that. I was going to buy some clothes for freaking Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and I bought fucking nothing except for like just a few shirts. Ugh.
振り返って睨みつけたらどっか行っちゃったからいいけど、あのままだとすっごーく嫌な思いするところだったじゃないですか。
Oh, God, I know I'm taking so many tangents, but can you guys do me a favor? There's this one jacket that I really, really want. And if you know of any jacket like it, please tell me immediately. Okay, I know this is hella nerdy, but I'm gonna show you anyway. Give me a second. Where can I find it? I guess this kind of works. A few shirts is nothing? Yeah, a few shirts is nothing. I got 2 shirts, that's it. 2 shirts, I need more pants. Anyway, bam. That jacket right there. God, tell me if you've ever seen a jacket like that and link me right away. Fucking Suzuha looks amazing in that. From what I understand, that kind of jacket is common with motorcycle jackets. I'm not entirely sure that's true or not, but I'll look it up.
まあいいです。次からは気をつけてくださいよ。
はい、わかりました。そういえばその服なかなかいいな。
Bach, please.
あれ、この服前も着てましたけど。
そうだっけ？
まったく、それって全然私に興味ないってことじゃないすか。ちょっとショック。
そんなことは。そういえば髪型前髪切った？
Takaru, no, please.
切ってません。そんじゃ行きましょうか。
そうだな。それじゃあまずはあれ、おい、どこ行くんだ？
どこってスマホ買いにでしょ？
え？
先輩のってどこのでしたっけ？それとも DU？ ハドバー？どっちにしてもこっちですよね。
What? Short for hard bump. My mouth is on fire right now. Ow. I'm eating these chips right now, Scott. Whew. Hang on. Okay, anyway. HB for hard bump. A Japanese wireless phone company famous for their marketing strategies and ability to dominate the public discourse, as well as the white dog character in the commercials. A Japanese wireless phone company. Their phones have been popular since before. Ow. The days of smartphones for their unique designs and functionality, and they have many dedicated fans. A Japanese cellular phone company. They got their start with the pager business and are Japan's largest and oldest cellular carrier. Oh, okay.
ひょっとして格安のシムフリー端末ですか？だったら。
Oh god. Okay, I'm sorry. My mouth is on fire. I'll get some water, okay? Okay, much better. Man, how did I do that? Usually I'm so good with food that's
こっちで
spicy?
大丈夫だ。
そうですか。じゃあ行きましょう。
Maybe spices in pepper form are somehow harder to deal with. I don't know. Maybe. Not pepper form, powder form. Maybe. Oh my god, hang on.
OK。ちゃんと登録しました。これで何かあった時も連絡取れますね。
I mean, you just could ask her, have you eaten anything yet? I'm pretty hungry. Right? Simple as that. When I grab a bite to eat.
あのさ、有村。この後だけど。
で、どうします？これから。だって時間はまだまだたっぷりありますよ。せっかく出てきたんだし、このまま帰っちゃうのももったいないじゃないすか。
そうだな。有村さえ良ければこの後どこかに行くってのもありかも。
じゃあどうしましょう。ちょうど時間的にお腹も空いてきたし、なんか食べにでも行きます？
Yeah, perfect, too. Hell, I'm eating right now. Oh man, I feel so much better now. Something as simple as just eating and enjoying it, you know? I mean, I know they're talking about going out to eat, but I'm talking about like just freaking filling my stomach. Hmm.
ここですか？
ああ、ここで売ってるキャラメルポップコーンが美味しいらしいんだ。
You know what? Fine. But if I were starving, caramel popcorn is not gonna be an answer.
へえ、宮代先輩って思ったより流行りとか詳しいんですね。
ま、僕はリア充だからな。待っててくれ。ちょっと買ってくれよ。お待たせ。わ
あ、甘い匂い。美味しそう。
Caramel popcorn? Really?
さあ、食べたまえ。
いただきます。はっ。おいしい。なにこれ。これ超美味しいです。
だろ。
先輩もどうぞ。はい。どう？美味しい？
美味しいです。
Is it that impressive? Maybe I'll give it a shot.
じゃあ今度は先輩から。
え？
Okay, please.
あ、先輩の手 ポップコーンの粉がいっぱいついちゃってますよ。
No, please don't do what I think you're gonna do.
本当だ。
ほら貸してください。
Bullshit! Fuck!
これで綺麗になりました。
おお。
ねえ先輩、ひなえこの後買い物に付き合ってほしいな。
買い物？いいけど。
やったー。実はね、買おうと思ってたものがあったの。こっちでーす。
The scene is still going.
ランチが重かったらやめよっかなーって思ってたんですけど、よかった軽いもので。あったここです。
ここって。
A clothing shop? Looks like it. Sells purses too, I guess.
先輩、まだ目を開けちゃダメですよ。
うん。
よいしょ。はい。じゃあ、お願いします。
Oh my god! Why?
先輩、どうしました？
これはまずいんじゃないのか。
バレなきゃ大丈夫ですって。
Hang on. Sorry, I couldn't tell that was a swimsuit. I was expecting it to be lingerie, because why would we be shopping for a swimsuit with no sort of indication that we're doing so? I mean, this is a delusion. He's wrong about it, but I'm just saying. Snug? Sore nante eroge. Fair enough.
それよりほら先輩、後ろ早く結んでくださいよ。じゃないと水着ずり落ちちゃう。
いいのか？
いいも何も早くしてくれないと。
What? Okay, that was pretty tame. My mouth is still on fire, though.
とりあえず何系がいい？この辺ならいくつか候補が。
じゃあお任せします。
Sure. You know, what kind of food is around here in Shibuya? I'm pretty curious myself. We're in Shibuya, right? Or we're in Akihabara, I don't know.
そうか。じゃあ、あそこに行ってみようか。
Well, if we were meeting near the Hachiko statue, I'm assuming you were in Shibuya.
ここですか？
あれ、確かここだと思ったんだけど。
ラーメンですか？まあ嫌いじゃないですけど、さすがにこの列は。
だよな。そうだ、この近くにもう一軒あったと思うんだけど。
現在改装中。待
って、確かまだ他にも。
私あそこがいいな。ほらいつも行く
The place we always go?
って、ラックスか?
There? It's just a simple... I mean, if you're down for that, sure.
あそこって月替わりのランチやってるでしょ。私今月のまだ食べてなくて。
Yes, I think so, Lithium.
お主らか。今日は二人か。いつもの席が空いておるぞ。
I love this character. She's drawn in such a way where she's so different from everyone else, and she's funny.
マウンテンビューとオレンジジュース、マンスリーランチ2つじゃの。しばし待つがよい。やっぱり生き慣れたところの方が安心しますよね。
The Rio Cafe Lax closed down a year ago? Oh, that's unfortunate. Why?
そうだな。
もしかして落ち込んでます？
落ち込む？なんで僕が落ち込まなきゃならないんだよ。
マニュアル通りに行かなかったから？
Good read, Armora. I mean, he's kind of easy to read, but nice to call it out.
とりあえず褒めてみたり、道路歩くときに車道側歩いたり、人気のお店をリサーチしたり。
So, yeah, so pretty by the book.
違うぞ、それはリア充である僕にとって自然と備わっていることであって、別に
やっぱしてたんですね。まあそんなことだと思いましたよ。だっていつもの宮代先輩と違うんだもん。
Owner want to do other things? Oh, I mean, that's understandable.
僕ってそんなに分かりやすいのか。
すっげすけです。でもそれって悪くないですよ。
気休めはいいよ。分かりやすいとか言われて喜ぶやつなんていないだろ
う。気休めじゃないですよ。少なくとも私にとっては一緒にいて安心できるってのは大きいです。
Yeah, honestly, you can take it as a compliment, and she's trying to make it come off that way.
それって？
ほら、来ましたよ、ご飯。
Well, the sword part's already done, just not the red hair.
ほれ、注文の品じゃ。心して食うがよい。
What the fuck? This character is so funny.
美味しそう。いただきます。
You were gonna even comment about that? Oh my god. I don't know why I found that so stupid.
先輩、食べないんですか?
You know, there's something I never quite understood until I thought more about it. Out of curiosity, with your parents, whenever you eat with them, right? Do they always tell you to eat first if they're waiting for food, right? Like I never have to wait to eat with my parents, but I wait for my friends because it's considered polite, you know? And then there's also something else that my parents always do, which is they do this really delicate balance, which they flub up a lot of times, but that's fine. They tell me to eat a lot, always, at dinner, and they like force food in my they pretty much force food in my mouth. I'm like, stop that, man. I don't want to eat this food that you ordered for yourself.
いや、食べるよ。
先輩、まだ時間ありますよね。もうちょっと付き合ってもらってもいいですか?
Yeah, usually I wait for confirmation whether that's okay or not. And amongst friends, usually we give the A-okay to go ahead and eat because we want them to appreciate the food, right? So that's what I would do with a friend as an example. Like if the food that we're going to a restaurant is really good and the food hasn't arrived for me, I say it's okay, go for it, man. Because, you know, eat it while it's hot, enjoy the food, and that's me showing concern for you. I don't want you to wait for me. I feel kind of bad if you did, right?
そんな身構えなくてもいいですって。別にどこに行くとか考えず自然で行きましょう。自然で。
Your parents tell you to wait? Really? Wow. Okay, that makes sense. It's about being polite though, right? That's the reason why he's telling you to wait. I wonder why that gets relaxed in certain settings.
あれ可愛くないですか？先輩はどういう服が好みです？
そうだな。僕は
やっぱ露出多めのとか？
Honestly, no. I'm actually not like that.
違う、そういうのは。
Oh God, please.
まあ嫌いじゃないけど。
素直でよろしい。次はどこ行きましょうか？
Shit, man. If I were here, so we checked the clothing, we had some food already. I'd be down to... You know, I would actually ask you for your guidance, but technically we just went to a clothing restaurant, so it was already your turn, so technically it's my turn now, right? My turn, huh? Honestly, I would check out... We're in Shibuya, though. We're not in Akihabara, so I can't check out movies. What is in Shibuya? A bunch of clothes? I guess if you'd be okay with it, I would like to check out, like, a jacket or something.
そういえば先輩、知ってます？この裏に。
What's this?
おい！
間一髪。危ない危ない。
Why did two people say Love Hotel? Come on, guys.
こんな何もないところで転ぶとか、年なんじゃないのか？
しっけえな。先輩より若いですよ。まあ、でも一応お礼言っときます。
うん。
もうちょっとこのままでもいいかななんて。
Sorry, what? Why? Sure. What are we doing? What actually are we doing? Did I catch you? I held your hand. Okay, so I'll let go of her hand. You're asking us to stay a little while like this? But technically, I'm not holding you anymore. Never mind, I'm holding your hand. You just want... Okay, fine! Fine! That's lewd, though!
ねえ、あの二人見て。仲いいよね。
私たちもあの二人みたいになりたいね。
What?
なんか不思議。
何か？
私って普段はね、いつも自分を装ってるんです。だからそのせいで本当の自分っていうのがわからなくなっちゃうんですよね。
What can you say to a girl who knows when you're lying? Plenty of things. Like, I would test a few things. So, if there was something I was questioning about myself, I'd ask her, is it true that I love my dad? A very tough question. And if she says yes, I'm like, oh wow. So I do, right?
普段友達とおどけている時の自分、それとも思ってもないことを言われてムカついてる時の自分、それでも笑顔で笑ってる時の自分、どれが本当の私なのって。でもなんか先輩といると自然な自分でいられる気がします。これが本当の自分だったのかなって。 それじゃあ今日はここで。ありがとうございました。楽しかったです。
こっちこそ。
それじゃあまた。
うん。また。
I wonder where she stays now. I stay in a freaking RV. Oh, her perspective? Wow, okay. I welcome these scenes just to get a little bit away from the main character sometimes. Not because I hate them, but just space. Oh, she stays with her uncle. Her uncle and his wife were basically good people, but she knew that at times they felt sick of her. Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. Like, we all need to have different kinds of balance with people, you know? Like, I can't stay with people all the time. I get fucking sick of it too. Hey, Bach, out of curiosity, do you speak that way in real life? I'm being serious. I'm actually legitimately curious. Because it's really freeform and open. My god, why? I know, like, we can act differently on the internet, too. That's a chance to, like, expand our own identities and relax a little bit more. Or it can just be an excuse to be different things, but I try to keep them the same. This is your Twitch persona. You got a normie mask? That's like most of us, right? We have to get on with normal society. Normies. Wow. That's so funny. I don't know why. Just saying that word. Yeah, I know. But like, people who are new to the chat aren't aware of the differentiation, the difference between you and you know what I mean? So like, when you're having fun and the person that I know as you, they're technically both you. That's how I see it. I don't think there really is, like, the shadow self and the real self. They're both you. Not specifically you, I mean, people in general, right? That's how I view it. Yeah, like, if you ever come to our chat and you feel like a sense of reserving yourself, go ahead and have fun. Just don't harm the fun of other people, I guess is the only thing I'm really asking here. Are you really Catholic, Bach? That's a serious question. That's something that you said before, but I wasn't aware if that's true or not. You live in Hawaii, I think? I keep forgetting. Where are you from again? Someone pushed her down the steps. Also, before that, it was interesting on what line it ended on, which is why she was sure that someone else had done it. Someone else had killed her friend's brother, I think is what she means. Alola region. Alola region? What? I'm gonna look it up right now. Don't expect me to know geography. No, seriously, don't. Man, fuck you. Alola region? Is this real? It's Pokemon. Freaking Bach. Yeah, I haven't played Pokemon since Pokemon Yellow, man. How long ago was that? No, I'm curious about that too. Pokemon Yellow. Pokemon Yellow was released in 1998. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow, it's been that long. It's been 9 years. 9 years, yeah. I've been thinking about going back into Pokemon, but I don't know how to do so. And my expectations for what I want in Pokemon, I'm not sure if they exist. Like, I want strong characterization, lots of strategy. Does that exist in Pokemon? I don't know. Also, I need more Lusamine. If all three are satisfied, I'll play Pokemon. If the answer is no to like 2 of them, I'll probably not play Pokemon. That's 19 years? 1998. Oh shit, it is 19 years. Oh my god. Don't do this to me. Fuck, 19 years since I played Pokemon? Wait, what happened?
Hinae, どうした? 食べないのか?
Yeah. Leave me alone, guys. Everyone makes mistakes. Trust me, okay?
どうしたんだよ、ひな。調子でも悪いのか？
大丈夫。いただきます。
わかった。さては好きな男の子でもできたのね。
God, I can't believe it was fucking 19 years old, man. Oh, it's ruining my life. That's why I don't want to think it's 19 years ago. Oh. Fuck. How old is Lion King? Do I want to go down this dark path? How old is Lion King? Lion King was released in 1994. Okay, yeah, let's stop. I'm feeling way older now. That's not something I want. Oh my god. When you suddenly realize you're a lot older than you want to be. Okay, let's focus on the fucking game. I'm like ruining my own aspects of life right now. 2008. 2008 is 1 year before the earthquake.
Hora, そういう時って食べ物も喉を通らなくなったりするじゃない？
ひなえ、そいつはどんなやつなんだ？ちゃんとした男か？いや、父親の仕事は？
もうあなたったら、それじゃあまるで結婚相手みたいじゃないの。そういうんじゃないわよ。
He having this single scene of a birthday. I mean, it's because it's on her birthday. I get that, but no variation. Are they doing that on purpose to save money, or no variation because nothing ever actually happens? That's different. We'll figure that out. Hang on.
そうか。すまん。お父さん思わず慌ててしまって。
So the reason why I'm even thinking about that in the first place is the last time we saw this scene, there was a gigantic crack in the middle of the image. And the implication there is that this family isn't really all that close to each other.
やだわ。でもひなちゃんもいつか素敵な人と出会えるといいわね。
Well, like,
私があなたに出会ったみたいに。
I know this came up because we're talking about Pokemon, but it took me a long time to realize, oh, that's right, I'm older than people. It happened like 2-3 years ago, and then it snapped, or it clicked rather. I was like, oh, that's right, these people are younger than I am. And then ever since, I've come to the realization that, oh, I have to get used to this.
ああ、そうだな。
No, it's snap. That's the right analogy. No, please. I don't want to think about it. There was only by chance she found out. On her way back from a school trip, the bus had been stopped at a light. She'd looked out the window and seen someone who looked like her mom. At first, she thought she must have been mistaken. I'm reading this out loud to think, because I'm having trouble like focusing right now. Let's see. Oh my god.
お兄ちゃん、話したいことがあるの。
What were you talking about or doing when it clicked? I jokingly called someone senpai. Hugely joking, okay? I'm being serious here. I'm not being a weeb. And I realized, oh, that's right. That only applies when you're older to someone. I was like, Because the thing was, in Game Center, I used to be one of the youngest people there. And it would have a bunch of people who were older than I was, right? And then Game Center changed as time went forward. And we had fewer people who were older because they went on to get jobs and do different things and they married and stuff like that, right? And then I realized now that I'm one of the oldest people there. And so the newcomers look up to me as a person who is one of the vets of Game Center, but I've never really felt that way. And in all honesty, at least nowadays, years, it's been years since I've regularly attended Game Center, so I don't have that veteran status anymore. It doesn't really matter, ultimately. It's just that one moment made it click to me. That's right, I'm older now. And it never clicked before until someone established that relationship, finally, that I was an older person. And then I had to understand what that meant and what the expectations of someone who's younger would have of me, who is older, right? And so that person's particular relationship with me, I am very fond of. I like this guy a lot. And I do my best to share knowledge and experiences with him so he can live a better life than I did. I know that's really corny, but I don't want people to go through the same things I did. And so I treat that as something that I expect from older people and to give that to other people if I can. That's really about it. But it's a really strange act right now where I've come to realize that I'm older than some people, but I still feel young. So I've been able to understand how people feel when they've gone past what they consider their age of their prime, right? And if you look into like freaking anime in general, a lot of the stories are done with younger characters. And if you've been living your entire life surrounded by anime or something, right? Not just that, visual media in general, then at a certain age, you'll feel like it's not possible anymore. And I don't want people to think that, right? That there's still things you can do past your freaking 20s, please, right? And it's more than just getting freaking married. It's like you can publish your freaking first book past your 20s. You can rediscover your interest in other things. You can start working out, being a better athlete. You can go into martial arts. You can become a better programmer. There's tons of things still available to you. Don't feel that now that you're older, all those things are closed off, right? And when I realized that, when it finally clicked that I was older, I had that period in my life where I realized, all the things I'm watching are for things for younger people. These things give them hope, but it doesn't give me hope because now I'm well past that age. And so they can do it, but I cannot, right? Was the thing I was thinking about. And eventually something happened. And I'm not sure how it happened or why it happened, but I realized that I still thought that I was young, despite that I was older. And it's not just being older, it's also the mentality of being older. So I want to think young, but I want the wisdom of being older. I'm doing that kind of strange balancing act right now as a person. And I want to accept that there's more to life than this specifically small age group that is being targeted for people, right? I want to believe there's more things that I can do. It is not over. Just because I've settled in a career doesn't mean that I can't do other things in my life. And then when I came to that realization, I realized, oh, there are people in my life who feel trapped by their age. And they don't feel like they have a future anymore. And when I recognized that, I realized, I don't want them to feel that way. I want them to feel that they can express themselves and have hope for themselves to move forward into the future. So if they feel trapped because of their age, they can do something else, right? And then having that realization allows you to understand that if you are informing a relationship based on age, you can create that kind of barrier, right? That age gap that exists between you and that kind of pressure that you're exerting. It doesn't always happen, but when I talk to people for the very first time, I don't mention these two things. I don't mention work, and I don't mention age. Because I don't want the barrier of age to get in between us. I don't want you to feel pressured to tell me things because of your wisdom or age, right? And I don't want our relationship to be one where you don't respect me because of my age. I want that to be gone. So I don't talk about age. So if you're younger than I am, I will respect you as a person who has ideas, and I will not deliberately put you down. That's something that I don't talk about. I don't talk about age and work, because some people hate their job, and how people identify with themselves can often be associated with the actions they take. In which case, what do you do every day? I work. You work where? I work at freaking Costco, okay? And you might not like your job at Costco, and maybe you don't want to talk about Costco. Maybe it brings about a bunch of bad memories, right? So I don't talk about work. If the person brings it up, then I'll talk about it. But otherwise, I don't bring it up.
Hina, どうした?
But anyway, yeah, my view on things have become informed, or I don't even call it informed. It's because it's how I feel. That's it. I'm concerned about people who feel older because I've gotten a taste of that. I finally realized, this is what it feels like. Anyway, let me go back to this. How do you even jump to that? I forgot.
So ka. お前も知っちゃったのか?
Whoa. What the fuck? There's something I want to talk to you about, which is a gigantic secret. So she wants safety and reassurance. What's up? Hinai was still too young to keep her parents' promise to herself. Yeah. That's a secret that's so heavy that's hard to keep to yourself. The only person she could rely on was her big brother. She told her brother everything about mom, about dad. Of course he'd be shocked, at least. That's what she thought. So she was totally surprised by his next words. I see. So you found out too. So she was living a lie this entire time, and her brother never told her. Shit, man. I know exactly how that feels. Not exactly her situation, but I know what it's like to have your life shattered because of a lie. Huh, funny. I know that, and I'm still trying to give myself certain circumstances where lies are okay. Or understanding that, actually. It's important to me. The truth and the lie.
"高校を出たら家を出る。だから、ひなも一緒に行こう。
Wow, don't stop there. I want to know so much more about this character. Press 1 of dodging is sus. The very first thing he does when he goes into the chat is post someone's nuts.
おう、宮代。よっ。
なんだ、人か。
なんだとは、朝から随分とご挨拶じゃねえか。つうか、さっきから何やってんだ？こんなところで。
何って、学校に来たらここを取るのは当然だろ。当たり前のこと言うなよ。
そうか？それにしてはさっきからここでキョロキョロしてたじゃんか。誰か待ってでもいんのかと思ってさ。で、誰を待ってんだ？
それは、その、ほら、お前を待ってたんだよ。
俺を？もしかして例の事件で何か進展があったのか？
Type /purge space person's name. For example, JFAX /purge space DAJIN. Enter.
いや、そういうわけじゃないけど。
じゃあ、なんで？有村だ。
You should test it out. See if it works.
え？
You'll pay for this. Sounds like a villain. It sounds like a stereotypical villain line. What's that line that Rita Raposa always says? It's something like, after 1,000 years of... No, not that line. The other line. I'll have my revenge. There we go.
よう、有村。
伊藤先輩。
有村、チャオス。
どうも、宮代先輩。
Oh, guys, I found out that we got a new emote in our chat. If you type in DA space Jin, you'll get a sus face. Here, I'll show you. I'm dying.
お前どうしたんだその手。
これはちょっと階段でつまずいちゃって。
Yeah, she did, but what happened to you? I'm actually really concerned about Aramura. She didn't really trip, she fell. Because she was pushed.
それじゃあ私はこれで。
なんだよ。相変わらず愛想ねえな。
That's your interpretation of it? What? She's not rude. Rude in one circumstance, buddy.
と、それより話ってなんだ？
は？
だから、なんか話があって待ってたんだろ？
Yeah, there's a lot of...
こんなところでわざわざ伊藤を待つわけないだろ。
There's a lot of Twitch things that are buggy right now, JFAX. One of the most concerning things for me is apparently people get randomly unfollowed. So if you're following my channel you might randomly one day unfollow me. Unless you're doing that by choice, in which case I'm sorry, but that's not really what I'm saying here. Apparently there's also a lot of Twitch things that are happening behind the scenes that aren't looking too good right now. And I want to say... I would rather believe that that isn't true, but it's not likely to be the case. So... Twitch is in an issue right now, an interesting situation right now, there we go. And if things resolve themselves, good. Because that would be good for us as a channel, and good for our community in general. So, you've noticed that I've really been pushing our Discord lately, right? That's partly because of what we've been finding out here and there about how things are being handled on Twitch. So, if in the future Twitch kind of rolls over and sleeps for a bit, you still have our Discord, and we'll find a solution for that. So, I'm going to do this again. Please follow our Discord if you haven't already, because doing so would be really good if you care about staying with our community in case bad things happen in the future. Or when you need to know when a stream begins, etc., right? So again, there are certain issues right now that are happening with Twitch, such as people randomly being disconnected or like unfollows and shit like that. So just join our Discord. It's the most safe thing you could do to know when we're streaming now at this point.
Huh? なんだそれ?
ほら、それより早く行かないとチャイム鳴るぞ。
なんなんだよ、一体。
Oh, Dajin. We love you no matter how sus you are. We just come to accept you with our open arms and open hearts. Dajin, you will forever be a part of our community as the one true sus. Okay, anyway. Oh, shit, thank you for gifting the sub.
遅いな、有村。うわ、なんだ？
誰だ？
この声は有村だな。
なんでわかっちゃうんですか？つまんない。
Yeah, but that's so easy.
そりゃわかるだろ。
You know, no, I'm not gonna bring up a story. I was gonna talk about doing this with height differences and how it doesn't work.
そっか、わかっちゃうのか。
有村。
あ、そうだ先輩、チャオッス。
Because if the person who's really short does this to a person who's really tall, it doesn't work. Even if they could, they would know they're very short, so it's an easy answer. So it's like, well, shit. I know exactly who this is, but it's like cheating. Oh man, this kills me.
女子ってわからないな。
What? Hey, no. How do you feel about The Room? How do you feel about the movie it's getting? How do you feel about Tommy winning a tournament? Fucking.
どうしたのタクル？
なんだクールスか。驚かすなよ。
驚いたのはこっちよ。あなた今なんて言ったの？
いや今のは何でも。
あ、いたタク。
You know, here's the thing. As much shit we throw at Tommy, he's a really decent player. Like seriously, he's won tournaments. It's just that it's so funny to say that he doesn't. No, seriously, if he ever went 0-3 at NCR, I would never let him live that down. And he knows that too. 0 and 3, how do you even do that? It didn't happen though, don't worry.
おっと、そうだ、ちょっと用事が。
ねえねえ、昨日ひなちゃんとデートしたんだって？
I will always give Tommy shit though for not winning against Giuseppe on the matchup we actually fucking practiced. Okay? Because if he did, the fucking future would have changed. I'm still so freaking sad about that.
デート？ひなちゃんってもしかして有村さんのこと？タクル、あなた有村さんとデートしたの？
なんでそのことをお前が知ってるんだ？
Anyway, Scott, tell me whenever you're ready to stream, and I'll transition over.
見たって一緒にいるところをか？
うん。待ちなさい、タクル。ということは本当に有村さんとデートしたのね。
Are her Wow, they are. I just realized that. Why do you? How do you even? What? Why do you pay attention to that, Scott?
デートっていうか一緒に出かけただけだよ。
だからそれってデートでしょ？
Yeah, I like Serika, Nono, and Aramura. I'm not sure it's gonna change, but those are my top 3. I don't know, Scott. Do you pay attention to Ilya's boobs?
それでどうだったの？どんな服で行ったの？どこへ行ったの？何をしたの？うまくいったの？
Wow, thank you, Nono. I'm glad that you care.
どうどう、のんちゃん落ち着いて落ち着いて。だってあのタクルが女の子とデートよ。姉としては気になるじゃない。
Hey, I was asking what you pay attention to. He said boobs.
第一それってあんな陰惨なニュースを追っているよりも全然いいことよ。セリカもそう思わない？私はタクがそれでいいなら。
Anyway, Scott, just let me know when you want to stream. If you need a little bit more time, I'll just continue. And if you don't, then I'll just switch over. I'm trying to think what I'm gonna do while you stream. I could sleep early, wake up in the morning, read. I'm considering reading more about that book about writing. But I'm not sure if I have enough energy to retain all the information. Okay. Just let me know whenever, man. Could watch a movie, too. What do I want to do? It's at a certain period where I could fall asleep, but I wouldn't mind reading. And I wouldn't mind watching a movie either. Reading that text, though, is a little bit harder than just reading a regular story, because I have to absorb techniques. I guess I could try to do it. We'll see how that goes. I haven't tried reading it in my bed. I only read it on tables and stuff like that.
それでタクルどうなの？
どうって別にちょっと遊びに行っただけだし。
ちょっとってダメよ、そんな適当な態度じゃ有村さんにも失礼じゃない。
She's giving advice? She's giving advice, yeah.
ああ、そうだ。こうしちゃいられないわ。
クルス、どこ行くつもりだ？
決まってるでしょ。有村さんのところよ。弟をよろしくってきちんと挨拶しておかなきゃ。
What?
ちょっと待って。いくらなんでもそれ早まりすぎだ。
Yeah, he doesn't have that relationship yet.
そうだよ、のんちゃん。そういうのはちゃんと日取りを選んでやんなきゃ。
Serika, don't do this.
とにかく有村とはスマホを買いに行くついでにちょっと一緒にブラブラしただけなんだよ。
本当に？
本当だって。だから変な気を回したりとか頼むからやめてくれ。
そう。
Scott's innocent. Alright, whatever. How many people have you killed, Scott? I see the blood in your hands. As a murderer, I also know other murderers. We flock to each other. After all, birds of a feather fly together.
っていうか、のんちゃん、なんでそんなに必死なの？だって、そういう楽しいことがあれば、タクルだってもう変な事件を追いかけたりしなくなるかもしれないでしょ？
Look at all this blame he's throwing at other people. Sounds like something a murderer would do. Can't accept the truth, huh?
なんだ、そんな理由か。
もちろんそれだけじゃないわ。もっとちゃんとした理由があるわよ。ちゃんとした理由って？それはほら、有村さんも私たちと似たような境遇だから。
You know what? Let me ask you guys a question, okay? The Tommy, Scott, and I are in a room. The door is locked. The lights go out, and a dead body's on the floor. And then it appears again. The dead body's there. Scott is holding a knife. I have nothing in my hands, and neither does Tommy. Who's the killer? Who's the killer, chat?
似たようなってどういうことだ？
知らないの？彼女、ご両親はご健在らしいんだけどね。住んでいたお部屋が渋谷地震で倒壊して。
I don't even have the knife in my hand. You guys are terrible. Anyway, let me see. Oh man. Like, what? How did I put it in your hand?
今はご両親とも東京から少し離れてしまって。彼女自身は近くの親戚のお家から通っているらしいんだけどね。
No, here's a better question, Scott. If I put it in your hand, when I put it in your hand, why'd you close your hand? If I did that, why? You tell me. Why is the knife in your hand? Why is it bloodied? Why is Dodgen's dead body in the floor? Okay? You tell me, man.
でも有村さんと同じ小学校だったって子に聞いたんだけど、彼女すごくお兄さん子だったらしくて、それで亡くなった後はずっと塞ぎ込んでいたそうだから。別に同情とかじゃないの。ただ彼女にも頑張ってほしいなって。だから。
Wow, love heart, please.
もしも何か相談があったらいつでも言うのよ。わかった？
Wow, no, you are so supportive. I could hug you right now. You're amazing. Thank you.
うん。
それからくれぐれもまたあの事件を追いかけたりなんてしようと思わないこと。いいわね。
わかったよ。
You know what? Here, let me ask the chat something, okay? In this scenario, Tommy, Scott, and I are trapped in a room, and my hands are handcuffed behind my back, okay? The lights go off, and the lights go back on, and there's a dead body on the floor. And Scott is a killer robot, and his hands are bloodied with the blood from the same body. Who is the killer then?
のんちゃんびっくりだね。
そもそもはお前が余計なこと言うからだ。
Oh my god. You guys are terrible.
あれ？そうだっけ？
そうだよ。
Okay, fine. Last scenario. Are you ready? Scott, Tommy, and I are in a room. The lights go off. My dead body is on the floor. And both of them are holding knives. Who's the killer?
でもタク、本当にひなちゃんとは何にもないの
？Fucking I hate you guys. They're both holding knives.
ないよ、そんなの。
Oh, you guys are terrible. You're all so terrible. My god. Okay, let's just fucking read the story, okay? Scott, please! I don't even have a knife on my hand! You guys, it's terrible. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, right. Oh, jeez. How did this joke emerge? I forgot. So Tommy 0 and 2 emerged because of the NCR story. How did I am the killer emerge? What prompted that kind of inside joke? Was it because of Illbleed? Was that really the reason? It had to have been something else. I thought it's too small of just one event. But the handcuffs are behind me. The DR stream? Oh yeah, that's right. Because during the DR stream, when I was trying to defend Celeste, I said, I'm the killer! I did it! Let me explain how I did it. Oh man, I miss Junko. I also miss Tokyo Mirage Sessions. That was a really fun game. For a system that didn't have anything I cared about. Hey Armura, you're like everywhere I go now. Not that I mind, I love you. You're really fun to be with.
有村、どうしてここに？
決まってるじゃないですか。先輩を待ってたんですよ。ここに来れば会えるかなって。
僕に会いに？
You're ready to die? What? I'm not the... I'm not the killer. Okay, count to 5. Then stream. What does this button do?
What a douche.
What does this button do?
Impossible.
What does this button do? This button? This button. Okay, now I remember. I need to add more sound effects to this board.